hello.
Hello.
You
Hi,
look,
Rick. Oh.
You look extra. You look extra delicious,
Oh, do I?
and it's only because you
Not like a teacher today?
a hot teacher.
Only because why?
Well, no, because you were going to a meeting today. You don't dress up like that beautiful for me.
No, it's because I had a meeting this morning and then I knew we were going to podcast. So I actually got dressed today. I'm not in my athleisure.
I know this sounds weird, but I'm really proud of you, and you've really taken initiative. Do you want to talk about why you were at a meeting today?
I was at a meeting for CASA. We've talked about it before, but this is like a big deal. This is their 40th anniversary gala.
Well, Renae has no idea that they're slowly fucking dragging her in.
Oh no, not slow. They got me a long time ago. They got me on the hook. But they asked me to host last year, and it was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it. And they were very sweet. And they said, "Will you come back and do it again? This is our big 40th anniversary gala, and we want to make a big deal out of it." So we had a meeting because it's on Friday, so it's like getting all the action items and all of that.
Well, and for those of you that follow the podcast, we had that beautiful Mother's Day podcast in conjunction with CASA, where we were able to raise upwards of $20,000.
Well, no, last year we did it for New Braunfels Angels. It was for a different
that's
organization.
right, for New Braunfels Angels. And we were able to, very similar, helping foster children, but we were able to raise upwards of almost $30,000, if I remember.
Yeah, somewhere between 20 and 30. I can't remember.
And I'm just really proud of the fact that you've kind of taken initiative. You found something that you're passionate about, and you're able to use your talents and skills
in another way. Yeah. Well, you were doing Helicopters for Heroes, and it was really inspiring. But I also felt like, and we do lots of, we help out in lots of other ways when we can, when people hit us up for causes that are near and dear to them. But I just felt like we weren't doing something in our community
where we live.
Yeah.
No,
New Braunfels is our home now, and so I wanted to do something here.
And it is important, and the biggest challenge when it comes to charity work is finding people who are willing to take it seriously. So many people say, "Oh, I want to volunteer," right? Or "I want to help." Well, okay. And then they just show up and they're there, but they're not really helping, or they don't show up, or it's very difficult.
It's hard. I mean, it's it's a time commitment, it's an effort commitment, and I do what I can and I bring what I can to the table, but there's another Renae who's like the event planner, and Kindle over there at CASA. I mean, those ladies are the ones who are really in the trenches doing the work.
That's awesome. And we're going to do the Mother's Day podcast again. We're very excited about it, and it is going to be for CASA. Rick, I was actually going to hit you up because I would like to make a kind of a short list of famous women who have children that might be able to join that podcast.
Maybe we can get a celebrity mama guest to come on.
We're going to try to do that. Maybe one out of San Antonio or Austin or somewhere, close by. But if we have to fly somebody in, we'd be willing to do that too. So we'll see.
Yeah. I always like when we do the podcast live. It's just a different energy. It's a fun event. I like it.
Yeah. And then on my Instagram, on one of my stories the other day, I did mention that I'm very upset about the way we're being treated at this certain car dealership. I'm not ready to blow their world up yet because we're still in talks. But
you make me uncomfortable when you do stuff like that. I'm already over here squirming in my chair.
It's just, it's slimy and it's gross, and and the cool part is I have pictures, and I will blow them up and show the pictures of this vehicle that was sold to me that they're refusing to work with me on. So the cool thing is, after that video, several of the other GMs called. Yeah. And they were like, "Hey, we are the same name, but we're different owners.
Yeah, don't blast us.
Please don't blast us." And unfortunately, the sad part is, and I will mention that those GMs were very kind and very sympathetic. And when I sent them the photographs, they were like, "Oh my God, we would totally help you. Oh my God, we would totally make it right. We have very little influence over there." So I will, when I do choose to talk about it so that other people don't make the same mistake we did, I will make sure to mention that there's different ownership, but unfortunately they have the same name.
Yeah.
So it really kind of screws them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's I don't know. I'm bummed about the whole situation because I like to be positive. I like to live my life positively, and
so much so you know how to say the word correctly.
but I'm also excited because UTSA baseball is kicking some serious butt. Your sister was Miss UTSA.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law held the record for the longest field goal for UTSA. So, we took Garrett to baseball camp over there because I refused to go to Texas State. I refused to be around coaches at Texas State that are disgusting human beings and immoral. And I just started hanging out.
You're on a roll today.
I'm on a roll.
You're on a roll.
Well, no, but I started hanging out with those guys at UTSA. I'm having lunch with them today about, helping them out with their team. I gave them a shout out on the socials, and they reached out and they were like, "Oh my God, Mr. Trevino, thank you, and we'd love to have lunch with you and talk to you about UTSA and our baseball team." And so I'm really excited about possibly getting more involved with our friends at UTSA, even though I'm wearing my Aggie hat.
I don't follow college baseball, and I know they're doing really well. Like they're beating some big schools.
They beat Texas A&M. They beat Texas State. They beat UT.
Yeah,
and there's just something special about the underdog.
You know what? I was just about to say, I think the reason the car thing pisses you off too is because you are all about rooting for the underdog. You in your heart will always be an underdog.
Well, I'm always the only reason that they're continuing to have a conversation with me is because of my social media following, right? And my quote unquote celebrity.
Yeah. And
the sad part is, and I even told them that, I go, guys, how would you be treating somebody that has no clout? I think about that family that saved their money to buy a van like the one we bought.
They let you complain to death until you give up.
Yeah. And I think about that family that saved their money, wanted this van desperately, bought it, and then this happens to them. And this dealership basically tells you to go kick rocks.
Yeah.
And, oh, well, fucking deal with it. It's yours. And it just makes me sad for those people because they wouldn't even continue a conversation. Yeah. As a matter of fact, we were done with my conversation, and they basically told me to go fuck myself. And then I did that story, and then the conversation opened up again.
Once you shared it on social media.
Once I shared it on social media. So, yeah, I'm with you. I want to defend the underdog. I am an underdog. I'm still an underdog. I still continue to fight. I still continue to hear no. I still continue to have people say, you don't belong here, right? You're not a festival comedian. You're a Southwest comedian, or and I continue to fight and go, and that's what I love about UTSA right now. Here's this small school with very little budget to go out and recruit, and they're kicking ass.
Yeah.
And they decided to be a team, and they decided to compete.
Yeah.
And I love the underdog, and I will always root for the underdog, and I will always root for that person that wakes up every day and fights like hell.
Yeah.
And takes themselves to another level. Rick, are you an underdog guy?
Oh yeah. Yeah. From Detroit. Come on.
Yeah. Detroit's all about the underdog. But something, the thing about the underdog is that at some point, I kind of contributed to that moment in Rocky 1.
Okay, remind me, what's the moment in Rocky 1?
So in Rocky 1 is one of the greatest sports movies of all time. And, Sylvester Stallone's character, Rocky Balboa is the underdog.
Yes.
Right? There's a moment in the fight where Apollo Creed has now beaten this man for, 10, 11 rounds. Because back then they did 15.
No matter what?
No matter what, they did 15 rounds, unless you get knocked out.
Knocked out, right. Okay.
And Apollo Creed keeps knocking him down, and he keeps getting up. And knocking him down, and he keeps getting up. Well, one of the times that he gets up, and Apollo Creed, he's thinking to himself, he's done. He walks to his corner. Rocky walks to his corner. Rocky gets up, and Apollo Creed turns around and looks at him, and he's going. And the look on Apollo's face where he just goes, he lost. Right in that moment, he lost.
Yeah.
And there is a moment in an underdog's life where the people against you finally go,
I give up.
I give up. This guy is not going to stop.
Yeah.
This guy is going to get up every time. Not only is he going to get up, he's going to ask for more.
Yeah.
That's a winner, you know.
Yeah.
And that goes back to our weekend at baseball.
I was just going to say, oh my God, you want to talk about underdog? The boys this weekend came back dug themselves out of a real big
10-0,
hole.
Brian.
In a
First inning.
In a very impressive way.
First inning, my boys are down 10-0. Now here's what's cool. One of the big conversations what the lesson that I've really been working with, I always pick a theme and a lesson to talk to my son about.
Yeah.
And my kids, right?
You look for the learning opportunities.
Obviously,
teaching opportunities.
Delilah's 4, so it's different, right?
Delilah's just different.
Well, no, but she's 4, so we're more advanced with Garrett at the moment, right? And I kept the big thing that I've been harping on is mental toughness.
Yeah.
Talking to him about adversity. Talking to him about the mental game.
Yeah.
Baseball's a big one, right? Baseball's one of those sports that you're going to make mistakes.
Right.
It is impossible in baseball to not have an error. It's not happening, right? You're going to have good games. You're going to have bad games, right? It's baseball.
Yeah.
You're going to hit the ball some days. You're not going to hit the ball some days. Some days you're hitting the crap out of the ball, but it's going
right to them and
right to a player,
catch it. Yeah.
Right? So this weekend, Garrett was not himself, and he really had a rough go. He was still good. And he still had a good tournament, but he was making errors that he normally doesn't make. And he would come to the dugout, and I would go, "Hey, buddy, mental game." And he'd go, "I'm good, Dad. I got it.
Nobody's hurt.
Right? I'm gonna do it. So what? Right?"
Yeah.
So he really showed some growth, and we ended up going down 10-0. The boys made a lot of mistakes. They only had 2 hits. So those of you that know baseball, they had 2 hits, meaning the balls went into the gaps where they were uncatchable. The other 10 points came because of errors, because they were messing up.
Yeah.
Right. But they came back and they ended up winning 15-14 in the 7th inning, which was overtime innings. And it was a really cool thing to see. But on the way home, I told Garrett, I said, sometimes when you pray, sometimes when you're working on something in your life, sometimes God will go ahead and test you. God will give you a test on the things you're working on to see, you okay?
Yeah.
What kind of growth that you've had.
Yeah.
So it was really cool this weekend that Garrett did not have a good tournament, but he had a good mental tournament.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, "Dude, what a huge win." And he goes, I go, "What a great weekend. What a huge win this weekend." And he goes, "Yeah, but I didn't play good." And I go, "Doesn't matter. Who cares?"
Yeah.
I said, "You know what you did do? Your mental game. You were strong mentally."
Yeah.
I go, "That's a huge win." I go, "Because I don't care about the baseball. I don't care, son, if you're hitting home runs. I don't care if you're the stud. What I do care about is your growth as a man."
Well, normally he would have been, when they were behind that far, he would have been so upset. He would have been in a bad mood. You would have felt it in the dugout, and he would, inevitably who he is, he would try and be a leader and pep up his team.
But it was bullshit.
Yes,
Right.
you would know it's all a cover for the fact that he's really upset that they had all those errors.
But the more I think about it and the more I look at that situation, I think to myself, was it awesome? Was it fun to come back and win 15-14 and to see those boys scrap back and win the game? Who cares about the game?
Yeah.
Who cares about that stupid ring, right?
Yeah.
What I care about is that hopefully we're raising men that grow up and go, "Hey,
Don't give up.
We don't give up. It doesn't matter our backs against the wall. It doesn't matter that we're losing. It's about raising good men." And when I look at sports in general, and in the society that we live in now, especially in travel sports, everybody's trying to win rings. All they care about is rings and their national rankings,
Yeah.
right? Oh, we're nationally ranked. oh, do you see how many rings I won? Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Right? And the sad part is they're 9, they're 8. We shouldn't be trying to win rings and regional or national rankings. We should be trying to raise good men.
Yeah.
And we should try to build a team of good kids who love each other, who play hard together, instead of, oh, I'll take 2 from there and I'll take 2 from there because, man, we want to be nationally ranked. And I'm a parent that wants to rock around and say, look at me, we're nationally ranked. Look at me, we win rings. It should be about, hey, what lesson did they learn on the field?
Yeah.
In life? Because they're probably not going to go pro, right?
Yeah.
Do you think when they're applying for their job, they go? Also, let me also remind you that when I was 9 and 10, we were nationally ranked. Let me show you my trophy case. Renae had trophies. They never asked you at an interview, can I see your trophies?
No, but you know what I thought was so cool about this weekend? I mean, I got to be honest. I did not think they were going to come from behind to win it. It was pretty bleak. But also they each contributed to that win. Like it was really, they each had to step it up and really each of them individually hold their own weight for the team to be able to pull that off. So that was really cool.
Which is a bigger lesson.
Yeah.
Okay. The bigger lesson is you guys got complacent, right? You guys were not locked in and focused from the get-go because after they scored 10 points, we only allowed them to score 4 more.
It was
So the next 6 innings, they only scored 4 more points.
It was 2-12.
And we scored 15.
Yeah.
Guys, the score should have been 15-4 if you guys would have locked in and gone and not been complacent and not been arrogant. A lot of times, like all weekend, we were telling them, guys, you should be running over these teams. Why are they scoring points on you?
Yeah.
Because they go out there and we're king shit and we win every tournament. And well, and then boom, 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 they get punched in the mouth and go, oh shit, now we better play.
Yeah.
I guarantee you on a better team, we ain't coming back.
Yeah.
So we can't afford to be complacent. We can't afford. So another lesson. But the lesson isn't about winning or losing baseball games.
Well, let's see if they retained any of it. We'll find out at practice tonight what they took away from the weekend. I'm curious to hear their little 9 and 10-year-old brains articulate it.
No, well, I mean, but as adults and as coaches, we should be reminding them of hey, these are the lessons you should have gotten out of this weekend.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then it was also kind of, I was so proud of Garrett because he ended up missing a game on Saturday because he was in a chess competition.
He was on the UIL chess team. I'm really proud of him.
I'm very proud of him. And so he had to go do that, and then he had to change in the car and run to the second game. So I think there was a little bit of him he was not in baseball mode.
Yeah.
Right? He was more in because he really wanted to win. And the teacher said, she goes, we've never won this. I think I have the team to do it.
Yes.
So he was really I don't want to let my teacher down.
He finished third in the district.
Yeah, he got third in the district, which is pretty.
We come from a big district.
Pretty stinking impressive, but I think he was in chess mode, so that's another lesson, right? Turn off chess mode, turn on baseball mode.
Yeah.
How do you do that, right? Because in life, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, I got something going on in my life, but I still got to go to work. Right? I got this going on. I can't take that to work.
Yeah.
I got to learn to leave that at home and deal with stuff there, right? Yeah. So I by the way, all of you guys out there, I did ask Brian and Rick to come up with some questions. So I wanted to talk about a few things. Rick, if you have any questions, Brian, if you have any questions about what we're talking about, or
it was nice to have you home this weekend.
Oh, it was so good.
It was nice to have you home this weekend. Oh, and what was funny, you know what we had this weekend too? We had Grandpa Joe and Grandma Dora both come to visit. Buddy. I was nervous because sometimes they don't work well together.
They do not. They do not work well together, and 40-something years of being divorced and 40 years of being divorced, and I don't want to see him. And my mom, pinche viejo, I don't. He's over there.
But it was pleasant. It was nice to have them both.
And
the
then-
baseball field is big enough that they can spread out.
And then we were painting Easter eggs, and my dad was there, and my mom, she couldn't get back up, so she fell. And I was like, Mom, are you okay? And I look at my dad, and he goes, she deserved that. I'm like, really, dude? Like,
No, but meanwhile, he came in after we were painting Cascarones, getting ready for Easter, and there were these muffins. And your dad grabs some muffins and he goes, and to the whole kitchen, he goes, "Oh man, these are really good. Who made these?" I go, "Grandma Dora made those."
Ah, fucking shit.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I said, if she doesn't make them for you, she makes them for my dad because she knows they're his favorite.
Daddy Raymond loves them. Any questions, Rick?
Yeah, here's your Sophie's choice. If you had to choose Garrett to play chess or baseball.
If I had to choose, now the problem is that Garrett is his own human and his own person. So
I think I know what everybody would choose.
So he gets to choose. I would choose baseball. I would choose baseball because chess can be played anywhere, all the time, forever. And baseball, at some point, you will play your last game.
Oh, okay, wait. I didn't fully comprehend the depth of Rick's question. Are you talking about like if he had to make a choice this weekend to play one or the other, or are you talking about like for his future?
Let's go both.
Well, 1,000% he needed to go to chess.
You were annoyed with it, though.
Because missing one baseball game in the scheme of the world is not a big deal at 9 years old.
No.
Now, granted, if it was a championship game that, he really needed to be there for his team, that's going to be a much harder debate, right? Because he made a commitment to the team. Yeah. He's a big part of the team. And I think that I would have had a much harder time deciding what was going to be the better decision.
Yeah.
Now, the problem is that this chess tournament was for the championship.
It was the district tournament.
District tournament. So it was one of those deals where like, look, dude, you're missing one game on Saturday to go win the district championship for your teacher. Something you also committed to. Get over it. You're missing one Saturday.
He was one of 3 kids chosen to be on the chess team. Yeah. And they made that was up front. Hey, you have to compete. If you're going to take a spot on the team, you have to be able to go compete at the district tournament. So we knew he was going to end up missing a baseball game.
But, we try to treat academics just like we treat sports. Garrett knows that his grades cannot lack or he won't play baseball.
I mean, I think what's hard for me, if we're having like an honest conversation as a parent, like the academics, I think are sort of more my lane than yours. I think you would admit to that as well. And so I always try to balance that out because I do want him to be a well-rounded kid. And I think he has the potential to be a really, really well-rounded kid. But I also struggle with like, I don't know what the right answer is. You do look at like a dad, like Tiger Woods' dad, and he's like, no, we're going all in on golf and we're going to focus on that. And
I'm going to teach you to cheat on your wife.
No, but not my point. My point is that like there is value even as an adult in life to like really focusing on something and putting your energy in that and saying no to the other stuff.
I love this moment, Rick. Last week on Tuesday, Garrett came. We have practice on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Garrett came to me on Tuesday right after school and he goes, "Hey, Dad, my friend wants to come over. He doesn't have anything today. Can I skip practice?" And I was out working in the yard. And I just looked at him and he goes, "Yeah, probably not a good idea. I should probably go to baseball." And I was like, "Good answer, dude." Like, you know how I feel about not baseball, a commitment.
Yeah.
Right? It's about a commitment. Teaching your kids. You start something, all the things that are asked of you, you do, and you follow through, right? So, but it was really great that he's at a point where he kind of knew that was a stupid question. Yeah. Because by the time I turned and looked at him, he was like, "Yeah, you know what? I should go to baseball. I should really."
I think if he had to choose between baseball and chess, he would choose baseball anyway. He's really good at baseball. But I'm proud of him that even though chess is something that's new and more challenging for him, he's continuing to do it anyway.
But I mean, look, let's take Brian, for example. Brian Hart played men's league hockey till what, 5 years ago?
Yeah, just right at the pandemic started.
So about 5 years ago, Hockey's a big part of Brian's life. Brian lives, breathes hockey. Played it his whole life. His boys played a little bit and decided that hockey wasn't for them. But then, you got his youngest son who is, oh my God, an extremely talented pianist. So he found something else. Now, granted, would have Brian love to see his son go and play, high school hockey or college hockey? Sure, yeah. Right? But they took another path, right? But it was encouraged. Brian makes sure to get that keyboard for him. Brian made sure to get him those lessons and found something that he, but he takes it serious.
Yeah.
He came into the studio the other day, and I'm always nervous when I send a friend over there to the studio and they go, "Oh, my kid has talent." I don't know talent when it comes to music, right? Yeah. I hear something, I go, "Man, that's really good." I don't know if it's really good or not. So Brian's kids over there hanging out and ended up playing on a track. So then I come in and I talk to our engineer Drew and I said, "Hey, dude," I said, "Listen, man," I go, "Brian's not here.
Yeah.
Neither is his son." I go, "Do not bullshit me." I go, "Because if he's not good, he's not good." And I got no problem telling Brian, "Hey, dude, he's not good."
Yeah.
Or, "Hey, he's never going to be on a track." Right. And the look on Drew's face, he was like, "Oh, no, dude." He goes, "That kid's good." He goes, "Holy shit, he's good." I was like, "Oh, thank God." Thank God. Because I didn't want to have that conversation, with Brian. But I never, I never want to push my influence on, I want people to say, "Hey, like, if he's not good, he's not good."
Yeah.
And I would have had to have that conversation with Brian and say, "Hey, dude, he can hang out, he can play, but don't ask to be on a track because he's just not there yet."
Yeah.
Right. But it was really cool to hear Drew tell me how good they really were. Right.
Yeah.
Obviously, Rick, you played D1 basketball. If your kids quit basketball tomorrow, would you care, or how would you feel about it?
Oh no, I'm going to kick him out for sure. Not live here.
Lucky he's got 3, so at least one of them.
Well, it's funny because my oldest loves D&D, which is so foreign to me. And so
what is it?
And rap Dungeons and
Dragons.
Oh, yeah, it's a big deal. Kids like that.
They love it, and he's just trying not to get a girlfriend. So,
I love D&D. Well, you must not love pussy.
Or just he likes a very specific kind.
Yeah. But it is. But also, Rick, like, it's tough because when I look at you, Rick, and I see how talented you are, editing and coding and all the things you're able to do. I mean, that's in your kid's blood too, right? So it's also part of you.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's so hard right now because even when I was 15, which is my oldest, you change what you like almost weekly.
Oh, yeah. I mean, dude, 2 years ago, Garrett was the Pokemon nerd. And it was, I want Pokemon cards and look at my Pokemon, and his little friends would come over and they'd be like, "Oh, you have a Charizard? Oh."
How do you even know what they're called?
Because I would listen to him. And I'm just like, oh, God. I hope my kid's not the freaking...
You can't say positivity correctly, but you can say Charizard.
I don't know if I said it right.
You did.
I'm going to blow your mind.
What? Blow my mind.
Somebody found a fucking Cheeto that looks like a Pokemon, and it sold for $75,000.
What?
True story.
Rick, look this up on the internet.
Why would I make it up?
True. I don't know, because you get your news from TikTok.
More than you. You have no idea what's going on in the world. You have zero idea what's going on in the world. I listen to the news and I watch TikTok. But are you looking it up, Rick?
He's like, no, I'm not.
I mean, there's some that are going for $300,000.
Cheetos.
Oh, no.
No, Pokemon cards.
No, find the Cheeto.
Yeah, Pokemon cards.
It's in a package. Like they put it.
They sealed it up.
They sealed it up, and it sold for like $80,000.
At some point, it's going to disintegrate.
A Cheeto. No, it's a Cheeto. Like
it's preserved in orange dust forever.
It's not going anywhere. I tell people all the time, like if you throw Cheetos outside, the birds will not eat them. The ants will, but the birds are like, yeah, that's not food.
So just so you know, it's a Pokemon Cheetozard. It's shaped like a Pokemon, and it's sold for $88,000.
I told you. Why would I lie to you? 88,000.
Do you know what? If you were ever on an episode of Cash Cab or any show like that still exists,
dude, I'm king of fast
you
facts.
Want Steve to be your first phone call in the car with you, whatever the rules of the game are.
I am king of fast facts. I mean, I don't know why I know all this stupid shit, but
because you sit on the toilet for a very long time scrolling TikTok.
No, but I watch. Let me tell you about this show I'm watching. Oh my God, I'm glad you brought it up. You need to watch it, Brian and Rick. It's called House of David. It's on Prime, and it is like Game of Thrones meets the Bible. I mean, it's freaking.
I just fall asleep when you watch it.
It's so good. It's so good, and they already got a season 2. It's kicking ass. Have you seen anything about it, Rick?
Nope.
Rick doesn't watch stuff. He's told us that.
Dude, I'm telling you. Watch House of David. It's about David and Goliath and the story of David.
The underdog.
The underdog again.
You like the underdog.
I love it. True story. And it's really cool to watch. But why did I end up... do any of you know why they use the letter K for a strike in baseball? No looking it up, Rick. No Googling.
Hold on, give me a second. Why do they...
Use the letter K?
Yes.
I'm not looking it up.
Yeah, I hear you typing, little jerk.
I'm like, put it up on the screen, Rick.
But dude, I don't know why I'm so full of these little fast... Like, I would watch Cash Cab, and Renee's like, how do you know all that? I would get all the answers. I just know stupid shit. I don't know why. I just retain it.
Well, let me hear why, because I would never have guessed this.
So in the early 1900s, there was a guy that was he basically started the statistics of baseball, right?
Like collecting the data.
Collecting the data, and back then it was on paper, right? So in order to be able to move quickly, he had abbreviations for everything, right? So stolen base, right? Renae stolen base, Renae RBI, run batted in, right? Well, since S was already taken, he took the K in strike.
Why was it? What did they use S for? Oh, stolen base, or what's the S for?
Yeah, stolen base, right? I think it's stolen base, but because the S was already being used, in order to statistically put in a strike, he took strike ends with a K. He took the K. And then do you know what it means if there's a backwards K?
What do they use a backwards K for?
The backwards K is that you struck out looking.
Oh, so you didn't swing the bat, the pitcher threw a strike, and
you got struck out. Right. It was a strikeout. Yeah.
That's
our strike looking. Yeah.
But even like writing out a backwards K feels like it would be so.
You looked it up, Rick, am I right?
You're 95% there.
Okay, what?
Instead of strike, it was struck.
Struck out. Yeah, struck. Yeah. My bad, dog. God dang, Renae. Shit, Mr. Detailed guy. Wow.
Well, listen, we get called out if we do not fact check on this podcast.
Oh yeah, people. Light
up the comments.
Yeah, the keyboard cowboys. They're so perfect out there. They're ghosts. But we were, it was so good to be home, be a part of that tournament with Garrett, be with my Delilah and my wife and hanging out, and we would go eat lunch together, and I miss a lot of that. I mean, even though I get to watch the games when I'm on the road, I don't get to hang out with the other parents like you do. I don't get to go to the lunches and laugh and have a good time. There was a really moment. It was so exciting, Brian. Like, I showed you the video. I don't even remember jumping, but apparently I jumped 50 feet. I jumped out of my chair. Did you see me jumping?
One of the dads on the team because they record the game on Game Changer. He took that last clip from the very end of the game with all the kids rushing the field
and added the Titanic
music to the background. It was hilarious.
But, all the kids ran out of the dugout. All the kids hugged the guy that hit the last hit to get the walk-off. It was, pandemonium. Parents are running onto the field. Like, it was pretty freaking awesome. And which made me sad too, because the other team at one point, they thought that they won. So they had run out on the field celebrating that they won and hugging each other. Remember?
Yeah, and we were like, no, there's still time.
Yeah, we're not done.
Another inning.
Like, there's another inning.
We're starting another inning.
So it was already like, for them, it had to be terrible, right? So anyway, we run out, but there was a moment where one of our players, and I don't want to use names, one of our players ran up to his mom and literally jumped with his legs open, wrapped his legs around her, and grabbed her neck and just squeezed her. I'm getting emotional now.
Yeah.
And I remember her looking at me, and she had just finished knee surgery, like literally months, like a month or two. She's
a month out.
She's a month out. She's only supposed to walk a mile. And here's this kid who is my size, like, jump on her and just grab her. And I just loved watching that moment.
Yeah.
You know, you spend all these hours going to practice, and, you know, you spend all these hours, you know, and money and all this stuff. And when you see a moment like that, when the kid just wants to hug his mom, you just go, wow. You know, meanwhile, his dad's over there like the Bill Cosby joke. Really, dude? Does mom play catch with you? You know, just like Bill Cosby talks about. But it was just really a really cool moment, Rick and Brian, where, you know, it really is that moment where you're like, golly, man, you know, look how happy these kids are. Look how much fun they're having. But then on the other side, you got to put yourself in the other parent's shoes.
Yeah.
Right? And think about how they felt watching this 10-0 lead literally get taken away from them.
Yeah.
And lose 15-14 in the seventh, and on top of that, you had already celebrated.
Yeah.
Like, man. And then I think about, you know,
that's a hard loss. That's a hard loss.
Now those coaches today at practice are going to be having the conversation of, hey guys, we can't go up 10-0 and give the game away. Like, we just can't do that.
Yeah.
You know, because we're up 10-0, and you guys literally gave that game back. Can't do that.
Yeah.
Right. So it was
I was just glad you were here to see it and to share in that moment, and that you happened to be home. It was a good weekend. The stars aligned. It was a good weekend.
It was a great weekend, and you know, this weekend I got to work. I'll be in Indianapolis tonight. I will be in Louisville, Kentucky. Not Louisville. I will be in
where are you after that?
Somewhere Kentucky.
I forget.
We're doing all these great, you know, little markets. What's it called? Lexington, Kentucky.
And then Evansville, Indiana.
And then Evansville, Indiana.
Theater.
Then I have Easter off. And then what do I have?
Where's that? Rockford, Illinois, Des Moines, Iowa, and Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
Ooh, very excited about Cedar Rapids.
Why are a lot of theaters called the Paramount Theater?
Do you know what's near Cedar Rapids?
No, what's near Cedar Rapids?
Mount Rushmore.
I've never seen Mount Rushmore.
Seen it.
I know you have. I've never seen it.
I when I did Sturgis, you fly into Cedar Rapids, and then we went and played golf at this golf course, and everybody wanted to be on that golf course because one of the holes in the background you see Mount Rushmore.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's pretty freaking cool.
That's cool.
That you're sitting there playing golf and you're just like, well, there's fucking Mount Rushmore, right?
Steve, I'm looking at the calendar, and then you do Columbus, Ohio, and you're in San Francisco, California, and then we're going to Europe. We're going to Europe. Like, it's crazy. It's already going to happen. It's already
wild.
Here.
It's wild. It's
we got to buy those tickets.
We got to make sure that we document a lot of.
I'm falling over.
That's my baby. You sure are pretty. You sure are pretty. We need to make sure that we document a lot of Europe. I mean, it's going to be a disaster. I'm telling you right now. It's going to be hard with, you know, going to Europe, flying all that way, getting there, navigating Europe with two kids. Hopefully they don't get sick, right?
Yeah.
We got to remember that. We got to pump them full of vitamins
before we go.
You know,
and hydration and
making sure that we're being good parents, because it's going to be a tough one. And I'm nervous. I'm excited.
Yeah.
We are 40% sold out in Europe, so get your tickets. Hopefully we'll add a show if we need to.
Yeah.
Very cool thing, and we're working on it. It's not for sure yet, but we're talking about Australia in November. So, I mean, it's been an exciting year that, all these markets that have supported me over the years, number one, thank you, and we will be back. But to also be able to tour and do markets I've never done and do well is really exciting too. So that means that if every 2 years I get to go to Europe, Canada, and Australia, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And it's, Rick, I was thinking about this the other day. There is no doubt in my mind, I knew I was going to make it. Like, I knew it. I dreamt it. I knew it. I put it out into the world.
Yeah.
But there's something kind of, it's weird. In my dream was not, I'll probably go to Europe someday to do stand-up.
Yeah.
That wasn't there. In my dream, I didn't have this man, I'll probably go to Australia, do some shows. That never crossed my mind as a kid.
Yeah.
So doing it, it's weird because I knew I was going to make it. So I don't want to say I didn't know I was going to make it to be able to do Europe. What I'm saying is that
you didn't know what the ripple effect was going to be.
It wasn't in my, that wasn't some, so it's been a very beautiful, pleasant surprise.
To see how it all fills out, how it all plays out.
Works out.
Yeah.
Right. I do want to give a shout out to Aztec Chevrolet, now Coastal Bend Auto Group. Every domestic vehicle that you want, we have it. I will tell you that I made a huge mistake by going to this other dealership.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a GMC Chevy dealership. It is in Bulverde.
No.
The one we went to.
Bee Cave.
Bee Cave. It is in Bee Cave. I'm not going to give you the name yet, but it is in Bee Cave. I made the mistake of going to that because that was the only place that had this particular van. And had I done it through Coastal Bend, I would have had to order it, and it would have taken months and months and months. So that's why I made that decision. But still, I should not have done that. I should have stuck to Coastal Bend Auto Group because they always take care of me. They always take care of you. There's never been a customer that I've sent that way that says we were treated like shit.
Yeah.
Right? They've always been accommodating. They've always tried. And they've always been good. Now, with that being said, with all of this happening and me talking to them, they have now made it a rule that, listen to this, they will match any dealership price in Texas. What does that mean? That means that you go to a dealership, you get a price, you like that price, you call Coastal Bend Auto Group, we'll deliver it to your doorstep. Paperwork in hand, ready to go. So do not make the mistake of going to a huge dealership where they treat you like shit like they did in Bee Cave. Okay? Starts with a C. We're getting there. We're going to get there. Also, yes.
Well, I just had a question.
Yeah, he has a question. Yeah, of course.
Oh, but my stomach's grumbling, so not a long one, Brian. I got to eat.
No, what was the occasion? What was the family gathering that brought Grandpa Joe and Miss Dora together?
Oh, it wasn't anything fancy. They just both happened to want to come this weekend. Why Brian was asking why Grandpa Joe and Grandma Dora were both here at the house.
Missing the kids. They it's been a while since, and it sucks because a lot of times they're like, well, why don't you come here, right? And we thought we're gonna move in New Braunfels. That way, we're close to Portland, Texas. We can go back and see family anytime we want. Unfortunately, with baseball schedules and everything that's going on, it has become very difficult for us to go down and visit them, right? On the same note, we used to do Easter down there. Well, I have this house up here. We have Easter here. Right. So it's just been tough. So several weeks had gone by where mom was missing us. We were missing her. My dad desperately wanted to see my son play baseball, Garrett play baseball, and see his granddaughter.
When they come, yes, they want to see the kids, but it's to spend time with you too. And so Steve's actually home this weekend. There's not a lot of weekends we get you home.
So both of them kind of overlapped to where they were like, hey, we're both coming. I will say that we've made progress. Because I told my mom my dad was going to be here, and she still came. Sometimes my mom's like...
waited to the last minute to tell her, too.
I don't want to see ese pinche viejo wango. I don't want to see him. Pinche viejo. Feo. Right? And then my dad, same thing, where I said, Dad, mom's going to be here. Well, I don't want her inside. Put her in the casita. I'll stay over here. She stays over there. I don't give a fuck. So, but I was proud that they, another learning moment. We got some growth. We have some growth. With the yeah.
40 years later.
And you know what I realized too, Renae?
What?
And so, Rick, let me ask you this: had you ever seen cascarone Easter eggs with confetti in them until our party?
No.
It's a Texas Mexican thing.
No, it's a Mexican thing. So when you grow up the way we grew up, I didn't know that certain things were specific to my culture.
Regionally, it's not, but it's not even cultural. It's even
cultural.
it's even regional, isn't it?
Google it.
Because people in Chicago don't do them.
Yes, they do.
Do they?
Yes. I have family in Chicago.
But our friends from California, they didn't make cascarones growing up or do them at Easter. It wasn't a thing.
That's why I wanted to talk about it. So we call them cascarones. What they all year, Grandma Dora, my madrina Angie, they break the little hole open on the bottom of the egg with a spoon.
Tap it open.
And then they pour the egg out of it so that the egg only has a little hole on top. Then we dye those eggs. We put confetti in them. And then we tape a little paper on top of the hole, and then you crush the eggs on people's heads.
You find them in your egg hunt.
And you crush them on their heads. I grew up that way.
Yeah.
Right? That's just, I thought it was normal. I
That
thought
is Easter.
everybody did that for Easter.
Synonymous with Easter.
As we started having our party and people came over, they're like, oh my God, this is so much fun. Oh, wow, this is really cool, And then as I met people, even our neighbor came over, we're like, we're going to paint cascarones and put confetti. And they were like, what? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So when they came over, we showed it to them for the first time. Brian, did you ever see that before?
No, in Canada we would do it with beavers. We'd hollow them up.
With beavers, yeah. And they would put syrup in the eggs. They'd put syrup, and they'd tariff us if we wanted them 98% on the eggs. We never got them. We were never able to get them because you guys had a 135% tariff on them. I'm going to get yelled at for that one. But, for those of you that don't know, it is a really fun tradition. And the cool part is, back in the day, if you didn't make them, you weren't getting them.
Yeah.
But now if you go to like the Mexican shops or even HEB.
HEB sells them. Actually, last year, someone hit me up because I shared something on social media and I had a carton of eggs. And they were like, oh, that's my family's eggs. My family makes and sells those cascarones.
Cascarones, no kidding.
Yeah, that's their business.
But what you do is you run around and you crack them on people's heads. Rick, did you think it was fun? What was your thought when you saw that?
Well, I didn't know that you actually had to make them. I thought you guys bought them.
Oh, you're so white.
No, guests buy them and bring them.
Well, we do. I mean, how many?
You said now they sell them at HEB.
Oh my gosh! I mean, Renae and the kids probably made.
Well, they buy the egg cartons of the 18.
How many of those did y'all make?
We probably have
50.
There might be, yeah. There's probably 40 to 50.
Do me a favor. Cartons. Do me a favor. Do a story on your Instagram at I am Renae with an A, and do a little pan because they have to dry. So the next step is now to put confetti.
Gosh, no, there is a whole process. We have like a whole assembly line. You dip them in the dye in the little dye cups. You dye them. You put them back in the carton face down to dry so that all the liquid gets out of them. Then mamas come through and we take them out. We have to clean out the egg carton because if you leave any liquid in there and you put the egg back in, it'll stick and break. So then we got to wipe all the egg cartons out, flip them back over, let them dry like that. Then you fill them with confetti once they're dry, and then you cover them with tissue paper and glue.
I think it's really cool because, for me at least, obviously, my mom is older. Yeah. I just love the fact that hopefully my kids will say, every Easter, me and Grandma would make Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Right?
Tamales are a lot of I don't do tamales, but I do cascarones.
I just think it's a really cool tradition that my kids get to share with grandmas, right? Because your mom came over, Mama Mia, and my mom and the kids, all and our friend brought, and we told them too, like bring your mom, bring your kids' grandma, right? And oh my God, the girls were having so much fun. They had all the moms were wearing these freaking Easter bunny glasses, and I mean it looked like a scene out of a sitcom. Like they were dancing and, and they had the glasses and it was really cool and it's really special. And you're your sister posted on TikTok. She's like, oh my God, 87 people have RSVP'd to my brother-in-law and my sister's
I didn't see
Easter party. And I looked at that and I go, that's why I work. That's why I work. I work all year so that I can see families taking amazing Easter pictures, so that I can see kids running around, so that I can see my kids running around. I love it. I love sitting back and working the party and being the piñata guy and cooking and hosting these people, because it makes me go, man, why do we have this house?
Yeah.
Why do we have this property? Right? For us, or to make memories, right? And if I'm able to give those memories to neighbors, because a lot of our neighbors, white people, they're like, we go to church and we go home. We take pictures in our church clothes. We dress up nice for church. And so when we started doing this, they're like, oh my God, so many people would come up to us. Oh my God, this is so great. Oh my God, this is so fun. And that's how we spend our Easters.
Yeah.
We spend our Easters, the whole family would get together and we would do a big Easter egg hunt. We do piñatas. I mean, and thank God for my tío Lalo, my uncle Lalo. He had a ranch, and every year it would be a whole weekend. Everybody would get there Friday night. Saturday it was volleyball tournament and softball game and hang out and party and barbecue and laugh and sit around the campfire. And then Sunday we'd all wake up, go to church, come back and have our big Easter egg hunt. I mean, it was just a beautiful weekend. And I want to thank my tío Lalo for being that guy.
Yeah.
Right. And what I'm doing is I'm taking, and then when I look at it too, because my tío Lalo, he wasn't a wealthy man, but he would open his ranch up to us.
Yeah.
And he would barbecue for us. And I just admire and love him for it. But you don't appreciate it when you're a kid. Right. So I hope that maybe my kids or other kids in the neighborhood or friends and family go, man, I remember Uncle Steve. Man, that guy did that for us.
Yeah.
And I want to do that for our kids. You know what I mean? So we do need to invite him. Did we invite Tío Lalo?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
We need to make sure. He's going to be like, wow, thanks a lot. Yeah. Shouted me out on the podcast, but didn't invite me. But it's just a special day for us, and we love it. And, and again, Rick, you're busy. I'm busy. We're all busy. So when I get to see Rick and his kids, and they're 8 inches taller,
yeah,
and we all get to hang out, it's why I do it. So I'm very happy to be hosting people, and hopefully we'll do a cool video and pictures and people, if you're following us on Instagram, you'll get to see a lot of that. But we love you guys so very much. Pick Cherries, download the app. Raw Western Wear, guys, we're doing so well. We're a little company, and I know we're out of sizes. Got to give a shout out to my big buddy Bo. He's been asking for sizes. We're working on it. So please be patient with us. We're not a huge company. We're a small company. And Raul's doing absolutely amazing. Old Salt coffee, delicious. That's what I've been drinking. Is Old Salt coffee. I'll tell you this right now. It is the best coffee that I have had that you can brew at home. It competes with any other $5 cup of coffee. So yeah, it's a little more expensive, yes, but the quality that you're going to get and the money you're going to save by not having to go to the Starbucks or to the Dutch Brothers or to any of those, Dunkin', it really is a deal. So we love you guys so very much. Last question, Rick, if you have one. Brian?
Not a short. Whoa. What was your very first concert that you guys went to?
Such a random question.
For me?
I don't remember.
There was, and now here's
New Kids on the Block. No, I didn't go see New Kids on the Block. I saw, was it? It was worse because we lived in Corpus, so we didn't get a lot of big acts. We didn't get New Kids on the Block. We got Color Me Bad, I think. That might have been my first concert.
I was very young. And by the way, saw this guy, and then many, many, many years later, I didn't get to go to a concert. But it was a huge deal. And we were all going to go to the circus because at the circus, the guy that sings Putting on the Hits, where Fasten Sits, Putting on the Ritz.
Who sings Putting on the Ritz?
Putting on the Ritz. He was performing, and oh my God, my family was like, oh, we're going to go to the circus, and we're going to watch Putting on the Ritz.
Song by Taco. Rick was right.
Rick was right, Taco. Really and I remember we all had glow sticks, and they turned off the lights, And he came out with this huge glow stick, and we
Does
lost our minds.
Taco sing anything else? Why was he called Taco?
I don't know. He just puts on the Ritz.
Wow.
Where Fasten sits, putting on the Ritz. That's so weird.
Taco's still alive.
That's so weird that you brought that memory back to me. I forgot that. I mean, I just remember I was young. I was little.
I thought he was Mexican because his name is Taco. He's Dutch and he's from India. He was born in Indonesia.
Where Fasten sits, putting on the Ritz.
So weird.
That's what it was. We love you guys. We'll see you next time. Thank you for.
He needs to change our intro song on this episode.
Yeah, he's not gonna come after us. That guy doesn't make no money. It's personal domain at this point. Putting on the Ritz.
Public domain.
Thanks, guys. We love you. Bye.